Heavy chasing bucks, don't shoot your shot like Mr. Hunt. One wish enough to change your luck. These dreams lead you to downs and ups. I hit them lows, man, I was fucked. No crib, no home, we was on the couch. Cool dolo, not when it's another mouth. Had to hustle hard just to get us out. Scholar all day, long night to sin. Off books, money, make you grin. That cash dough, make the pussy spin. Cash flow, filled the money bin. Never had money, knew how to spend. Never had clothes, I was forcing in. Didn't need no man, I was fortunate. But I took on men who wasn't offering. I was glad. Finish your time's up. When it got to stop, taking time's up. When them streets stop, watch your time's up. When your friends go back, time's up. Time's rough. Time's rough. Time's rough. Time's rough. I've been through it all. I've been through it all. Fast cash never lasts long. Backed up on rent, nigga, let alone. Car lit past two, back in the hole. No surprise, found myself alone. Where the nigga at, don't pick up the phone. Where you somewhere, me at home. What about the spot, fuck if I know. Where your mom's at, she didn't go. My mind know this shit is wrong. Eyes bright, future looking grim. Sun getting big, back tall as him. Still in the trap, trying to ease the pin. Try to work them balls, try to make a flip. Put them balls to work, tell them rate the pitch. I'ma rate the ball, I am here the bitch. I'ma raise these hands till the next go limp. Let's finish your time's up. When it got to stop, taking the time's up. When them streets stop, watch your time's up. When your friends go back, time's up. Time's rough. Time's rough. Time's rough. Time's rough. I've been through it all. I've been through it all.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Quarantine and Rap, we back. Oh man, tonight is special. Tonight is a special one. Damn, how do I even start this off? Fucking, yo, it all started with Music Choice. If y'all don't know, y'all not aware of what that channel is. It's a cable channel that plays music. One day, I don't know. I don't remember what I was doing, but my bad. Got a little distracted there for a second. It was summer. The song came on. Gritty. I was like, yo, and I'm listening like, yo, this whatever's on right now is fire. I head over to the TV, and it says BX Till I Die. Artist name, Reignz. No lie, from there, I've been a fan ever since. You know what I mean? Like, I got to give her a proper legendary intro. So with that being said, award-winning MC, Puerto Rican, hailing from the boogie down motherfucking Bronx, the BX. She was straight stunting magazine's flavor of the month. Featured on Sway in the Morning. Yo, at this point, this woman might as well just walk on water. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Rap Supreme, Mala Reignz. Let's get it.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Thank you
Mala,
for the intro.
nah. Like that, you deserve that. Mala Reignz.
Was really
Welcome.
good. Thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you for having me.
It's, I mean, I need a second. You know what I mean? Like I'm fanning right now. Um, getting right. You know what I mean? Getting right into it. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Under the circumstances, it's a pandemic.
Right. And how's
You
the
know,
how's like the whole fucking pandemic been treating you?
it's been okay. It could be worse. There's definitely a lot of people out there who's going through it. So I'm blessed for how we doing. We haven't been needing for anything, so thank God. Um, but yeah, it has its twists and turns, as an artist and as a performer. So
Mm.
just figuring it out at this point. I guess that's what we all can do.
Right. Now, like obviously, before entering the chat, I gave just a brief introduction to who you are and what you've done um in musically. Like I tonight what I want to do, not only as a fan but as an artist, um I want to, my goal tonight is to get your views on things as well as pick your brain, being an independent artist who's been doing her thing for a hot minute.
Okay.
Wait, wait, I got the perfect sound effect for that right here. Okay, you ready for that? Ready for that?
Yes.
Hit the bell!
She's going ahead with the sound effect tonight.
I'm good
Thank
now.
thank you, Katie.
You're welcome. I'm good now.
Um, real
You got
quick,
it.
shouts to Katie, who's the genius behind a lot of these streams that y'all be seeing online. Ivy Productions, welcome to the Roar Zone on DTF Radio. That's that's a woman with many hats right there.
Definitely. Shouts to Katie. I love to see women that's working, whether it's in front of the scenes or behind the scenes. I respect it all around. Like behind the scenes is even more work. Y'all have no idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um,
I
Mala,
already know. What's up?
who um who are your influences?
My influences are everybody's top 5 or 10. It's
Mm,
definitely Nas was like my first love. Biggie, of course, Pun, uh, Lauryn Hill,
mm,
Jay-Z, like the top of the top. I always listen to the best. I'm from that era of the 90s, so I was always that was the cream of the crop era for me. Um but also I listened to other kind of music too. It wasn't just hip hop for me. So I was influenced by like R&B artists. I grew up listening to like my mother's music and my father's music. So it was like salsa and also early hip hop. Like my mother's the one that introduced me to hip hop. So like uh who was it? Who was this group? I can't remember the name at the time. It was like White Lines. That song. I don't know
I know what you're
who I'm
talking about.
talking about. The name escapes me right now.
Damn.
But she was the one that introduced me to that kind of music. My father was more into like the Southside era. He was like because he was a musician himself. So he played timbales and congas. Him and his brothers all played instruments and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I get my musicality from
Mm.
and music appreciation. I kind of grew up listening to everything, freestyle music, hip hop, R&B, like doo-wop. My mother loved doo-wop, and then my father with the Latin music and stuff like that. My mother was Spanish too, but she was really more Americanized, I feel like.
And when did you like? Would you say that you like? At what point did you feel like you like gravitated towards becoming an artist?
Um, I was always a performer. I was always, since young, I was a performer. I just didn't have direction. So, like, my mother would put me to perform in the street for nickels, no lie. Like, back in the day, she would be like, yo, break dance. Like, and I would just be busting it out in the streets to get nickels and shit on some hood shit. So I was always a performer. I used to be acting in elementary school, in high school. I didn't start actually like rapping until I was in college. I didn't start actually writing bars. I started off writing poetry. That was my thing.
Okay.
And it was more for like a release. It was like a stress reliever because I was going through a lot at the time. I was a single mom. I was young. I had just graduated high school, trying to start my college life, and I had a baby, couldn't go away, so I was like dealing with a lot. I was by myself. So I was writing poetry as a release. And when I was performing it, people was like, do you know you're rapping? Because all my poetry rhymed. And when
Right.
I would write my shit, it would be I would play music in the background. Like I would put the baby to sleep. I go in the living room and put some music on real low and just write my poetry, and it would have a rhythm and it would be on point, you know what I'm saying, to the beat. It wasn't on purpose though. It was just that's I didn't know really like other kind of poetry. I just only knew that to rhyme.
And like
You know what I'm
when
saying?
you
But I always grew up listening to hip hop music, like
right,
it was just part of life, I'm from the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no if, ands, or buts
right,
about it. Like that's what it is. So it wasn't like it just wasn't something I was thinking about when I was
mm,
writing, basically. I was just writing about my life. But it came out that way when I performed this. So after that, I got more into it. I was chilling with people who all was like nice off the top. They were all freestyle. They was my team, 420 Scholars. And that's where the whole 420 comes from and the scholar and all of that. So I created a company, Scholar Music. J30 had his own company, Vision Music Group or VMG, and then eventually we joined forces and became ScholarVMG.
word. And like in the beginning stages of when you started rapping in college, like how did that process go? Were there anybody who stepped to you to challenge your pen? Did you feel like did you have to battle anybody?
No, I never really had to battle anybody. I mean, I had some people along the way early in the early stages. It was like some little petty beef, you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? But it was never like on some real music beef shit. Like maybe there might have been a diss track back and forth, but it was never on a major scale. We was we was all just really on the come up, so it was nothing major. Um, but actually is love now, so like it was never nothing really serious. I never really was a battle rapper. I got bars. I could probably do it if I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? But it was never something I wanted to do. I'm just more of a songwriter. I always wanted to just, for me, rap was a way for me to express myself, but I was always a creative person in general. So I do all kinds of like other creative stuff. And I always just wanted to be creating as a career, like whatever it was. So bars was just something I felt like was already ingrained in me just because of where I'm from. And it was just, I grew up already with that.
right.
And it was natural for me, you know what I'm saying? But I never wanted to battle. That was never like a path I wanted to take. But I definitely like I got mad family in the battle rap scene and I
Mm,
respect what they do. I don't have the memory span for that shit. I
right.
really don't. That's the memory shit. Like you gotta have your shit, your muscles gotta be on point.
Yeah. And like all right, so when writing a song, right? As an artist, like every artist knows, whether old school, new school, every artist knows that the chorus, if not, is the most important part of the song. Now, you came up in a time where it was skill based. Um, being that you still music, I mean, you still music, that you still do music to this day.
Mhm.
How challenging is it making that transition from a skill based grind to a number based grind?
I think I think that that's a tough question because like there's still a fan base for people who are bar based. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like there's still a lane for that, but the mainstream is not for that.
Right.
So as an artist, you have to kind of decide um what lane you want to be in. Not that you have to stop spitting bars, but you might have to change the way you deliver your bars so that it fits within a more commercial kind of format. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe the beats might not be as underground, or may not be as like rough as you like. It might be a little bit more pretty. You just got to decide what it is you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Making the transition to commercial really for me is not difficult. I feel like changing my content might be a little bit more difficult, because you can switch up the way it sounds and the way it appeals to people, but when you have to switch the things that you're talking about or things that are important to you, that's when it becomes a little tough.
Um, and being a female hip hop artist, like what are some of the challenges that you've had to deal with personally, from people selling you dreams to acting like they want to work with you, but really there's ill intentions behind it?
I mean, all of it. I had to deal with all of it. I had to deal with DJs. At the time, it wasn't popping to be a female rapper, so not that it was whack, but it just wasn't popping, so it wasn't important. You know what I mean? Um, DJs telling me nobody wants to hear a female rapper right now. To, you got to sound more commercial. To excuses like, oh, but your production is your production. Like stupid shit. Um, so I've dealt with it all pretty much. But also I've dealt with people who were very supportive. You know what I'm saying? But they're unicorns. They were unicorns at the time. So it was more challenging. Most of the time, I was like the only female artist on the bill, or the only female artist on the mixtape. And then my song would be like the last one. You know what
Where
I'm saying? But sometimes that could be a good thing. It depends. It depends if you're the kind of person that listens to the end.
Yeah,
So I don't
I
know.
mean, I remember like at a time like the DJ Big Mike mixtapes where you'll have all the major artists, but then when you get to the end of the mixtape,
It'd be like the independent ones. Yeah.
mm-hmm. And
So
I'm
it really
like I
all
said,
depends. You got to take the good with the bad, and sometimes it may not feel good, but it's still promotion.
right.
So you got to take that promo.
And with and now that you mentioned mixtapes, obviously, I'm sure you've been seeing it around social media. You got all these artists who are all tag someone that could rap, and I'm doing a mixtape with such and such, and next thing you know is like $700-800 for one song on a mixtape. Like, how do you feel about like these artists doing
So um, for me, it's like it depends. I feel like it's important to invest in yourself for your promotion. It's important. It's marketing money. Every company has to set aside a marketing budget. And as an independent artist, you are considered a company or a business, right? Like you're so like in this COVID shit, right? For instance, in this COVID shit, a lot of us who actually get paid for what they do or whatever, you are an independent contractor. When you file your taxes as an independent contractor, and you pay your taxes at the end of the year, right?
it? Yeah.
So with this COVID shit, if you're an independent contractor, you can get a loan because technically you are a business, you're a gig worker, and you can get a loan for your company so that you can survive through this pandemic, right? Okay. So as a business, right, and that money that you got, you would be using it to keep your business running, meaning whatever it takes, like even if it's more promo, run your campaigns, or whatever it is you might have to pay for, just other services or outsourcing or whatever the case may be, your payroll, things like that. um you have to envision yourself as a business, And that means having a promotional budget because you're independent. There's no label that's going to back you and be the battery in your back to let everybody know that you exist. How else are people going to know you exist unless you pay for it? So you do have to pay for it. But, and this is a big but, you have to be selective with what you invest your money in and make sure that it's worth your return on investment. And that's called the ROI. So
Mm.
you have to be sure that whatever you spend your money, is it worth the money? Is it going to get you the promotion that you're expecting? Do you trust that person to promote it properly the way they promised you? Is there a contract in place? Things like that. If you're somebody that you don't really have a buzz, I'm not against it. You understand? I'm not against it. If you're somebody who does not, who has a buzz already, and this is just, not really gonna add or take away from what you're already doing, probably don't invest in it. That's really kind of how I feel about it. But the underlying message that I have is like to start to take yourself seriously as a business, because you'd be surprised um, the kind of opportunities and grants that are out there for real businesses. But that means you got to put the work in to actually do the paperwork and operate as a real business. But you can do that, and you can pay yourself, and you won't ever have to work for nobody. It's something I push a lot.
No, I mean, and I know people do like panels in regards to like everything you just explained. But do you think like these conversations and these panels, like it's not brought to the it's not being brought to the front of the line enough?
I think more so it is now. Um, like all that, like the financial talks and stuff like that is something that we didn't really learn from our parents, coming from where we come from. You know what I'm saying? So it's more now awareness now. You know what I'm saying? That we're trying to like share the info. I've done I've done classes with people that I know who are in the financial world, and we've done like events where you can learn about like financial investing in yourself and financial wealth and life insurance and things like that. All that stuff is very important because you never know. Um, and just having something to fall back on, your retirement and things like that. As artists, it's really not readily available to us. We don't have any kind of really any kind of like unions and stuff. There's like one kind of a union out there. What is it, like UAG, I think it's called, or United Artists something, but like outside of that, there really isn't anything, and I don't really know what the qualifications for that are. But you got to start taking care of yourself, point blank. Your business, you got to provide for yourself.
Um, being, obviously times have changed in music. Um, how do you feel like? You see, for me, like I don't know. I guess I'm so like I guess I love the nostalgia um part of things. Like we don't have like it's kind you kind of do, but it's like the Fab and the Clue duo, the Red Cafe and the DJ Envy duo. Like, do you feel like something like that's been missing?
Like the mixtape, you mean? Like the mixtapes? Or what do
Well,
you mean?
I guess more so like the DJ who breaks
Oh,
bad
broke.
artists.
Yeah, I mean that's been missing for a long time now. I feel like it became kind of like a co-sign thing. Like maybe there's one DJ that's breaking artists, and then all the other DJs wait to be told what's hot before they take a chance. Like people got, afraid to take a chance. And I also feel like the restrictions got harder too, I guess, for DJs to even break artists. I mean, it's a trickle down effect. So it really is it comes from the top. Things got to be changed from the top. You know what I mean? Same thing goes with the government. Things got to be changed from the top. Um, we need to stop hearing the same 10 or 11 songs on the radio back to back. You know what I'm saying?
Sickening.
It's kind of like a brainwashing effect. And it's okay and it's safe to break new artists. How else are we going to discover new genres and new talent? Um, so yeah, I think that's definitely a problem. Um, I don't
Like
know. It's up to
I think it's
DJ.
dope. like I think it's dope that there are a lot of people who do like the live music reviews,
Mm,
because then you get to tune in. You might hear someone you will even want to work with, and she can take off from there. But it's like, we grew up on Hot 97. Along came 105, and so it's like, yeah, I can't listen to the radio. Perfect example, right? So the RIA podcast, which I've been a guest on their show before, they post a new Double XL freshman cover.
mhm.
So the question is asked, how do y'all feel about the cover? Me, I commented, and I don't know any of them. The one person on there that I know is a little about, and I haven't even heard his music, is Lil TJ. So
Mhm.
then someone commented, and their exact words to me was, um, "How do you keep up with modern rap, anyways?" And it's not that I don't keep up with it. Um, I don't really listen to them artists. There are a bunch of artists that we don't know because we're stuck in the tri-state bubble. So artists, like an artist I came across recently, Luke Gone, Fire, NF, um, Hobson, Token, Snow the Prada. There's a bunch, Joyner Lucas. There's a bunch of artists that I listen to that a lot of other people don't really listen to like that. And so it's like I really stopped rocking with Double XL a few years back. Like, do you keep up with the new artists coming out?
Um, I try to. I think it's important to at least go on YouTube and see what pops up. Sometimes I go to World Star. It really depends on my mood, but you should try to. I know about Hobson. My son listens to Hobson, so that kind of helped me a little bit. I asked my son what he listens to, and he tells me. Um, yeah, you should know, who's around, who's buzzing and stuff like that. You don't gotta be like a super fan and listen to
Mm,
everything, but at least just know and kind of get an idea where they are with the music.
right.
Um, yeah, I mean, it keeps you young, it keeps you in tune. It's your career, so it's important. It's important to stay up.
And being someone who was on the source, for the unsigned hype, how do you like? Do you feel like? See me, how I feel about the sources. I feel they can make a competitive comeback with the unsigned hype if they put someone in that office who has a great game plan and knows what they're doing. Not saying not to discredit anybody over there, but you know, um, along the years, Double XL just like took a massive leap in front of the source, in my opinion. And I just felt like the unsigned hype was definitely something that that was necessary for artists.
Um, yeah, I don't know what the question was, but
No, no, like, do
uh,
you feel like double? I mean, do you feel like the source can make a competitive comeback if they just revamped
can make a
their
competitive
whole
comeback.
unsigned hype?
Yeah, I mean, um, the Source is a legendary magazine, so I feel like I don't know. For me, I've always had respect for the Source. They showed me crazy love. They were like a magazine that I dreamed about being featured on. Unsigned Hype I actually got that, so I feel like the Source for me is forever the top of the top of the top for me. But it's just it was a dream of mine. But I feel like yeah, definitely anybody can make a comeback. Um, all it takes is marketing, I guess.
And speaking of being on unsigned hype, the having that moment, and that's one of, that's one of your moments to name a few. Like every artist on the come up always dreams of listening to the radio and hearing your song play for the first time and being, nominated for an award and winning that award and along other things, and you've managed to get them accolades under your belt. Like, how were those moments, them first time moments, when you found out about the unsigned hype, when your song um Dum 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 played on Hot 97, when you know what I mean, when you got that sway in the morning, like what were those moments? Like what was the first feeling that ran through your body?
Like it's a dream come true. All of them. This is what you dream about. What do you dream about when you were a young kid growing up in New York City and this is what you want to be? You know what I'm saying? Or this is all you hear on the radio and you're growing up to actually like be talking to these people and being featured. Music is being featured by these people. It's just like it's a dream come true. Is what you aspire to do. And I got a chance to do it and I did it independently. Um at the time at the time I was moving so fast, like I didn't really get a chance to step back and really enjoy it. But now looking back, like I could be like, wow, I did that. That's crazy. Not everybody gets a chance to say that.
And do you do you feel that there needs to be more opportunity as far as radio is concerned? Because radio is a strong voice. Um, and I feel like you said a little while ago, they have to stop playing the same 10 songs every hour, because then it's like one day I just happened to download Sirius XM and I tuned into Rock the Bells, and my day was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, obviously I know what Rock the Bells is, but it's just like the fact that that show, that station even exists is like a breath of fresh air. Do you feel like there should be more um radio opportunities for artists, independent artists, instead of Peter Rosenberg at 2, 3 in the morning on a random night?
Well, shit, if Peter Rosenberg is on at 2 or 3 in the morning, your ass as an artist should be sending him your music to play at 2 or 3 in the morning, first of all. But do I feel like there should be more slots available to us? Absolutely. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it costs promotional dollars, like that airtime, that airspace on television, all that stuff costs money. And the reason why we're only hearing these people over and over again is because they are backed by a lot of money and big companies that have all these connections and ties that can get you on to play on rotation. So, I mean, it sucks. Um, I definitely feel like there should be more opportunity. I also feel strongly that independent artists need to business up. A lot of us need to business up, you know what I'm saying, and get their shit straight. Because before they can even complain about stuff, they're not even in the playing field before they complain. They wasn't even had any dollars for marketing before they was complaining about it. So what are you talking about? Nothing is free. So just get your money up and get ready to play ball. You know what I'm saying? But then also do your research and see where your money is gonna get you more bang for your buck, basically. Look and see how you can promote yourself in a way that is not gonna kill your pockets, but it'll actually benefit you in some way, even if it's small. Start there because sometimes when you build up enough buzz, you get played on the radio for free. I got played on the radio for free. You got to work for that though. You know what I mean? To get consistent on rotation plays, that's different. That's budget. But you might get lucky and get played for free. You might send Rosenberg a record and he played for free because he thinks it's fire. So it's just, you got to work for that though.
Right. And I had there was this question I had on the top of my head. Give me a second. Um, while I while I try to remember this oh, there you go. All right, hip hop as a genre, And I guess I can call it the I call it, the tri-state bubble. Um, how do you feel about hearing hip hop put an age on artists, put an expiration date on artists?
It's just stupid, and there's no such thing. There's no such thing as putting an age cap on somebody being creative. There's no age limit on a sculptor, and when he makes a sculpture, there's no age limit on a painter. There's no age limit on a designer. There's no age limit on singers. Why is there an age limit on rap and hip hop? Like, that's stupid. So it's just stupid. I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I find it dumb because then when you think about other genres like rock and country, you never see anybody try to put an expiration date on those artists. And then like another thing that I totally dislike is for example, someone asked for my music recently. I sent them a song that they've never heard. So then they hit me back like, "Oh, can you send me something from the past 2 to 3 months?" Now my problem with that is, um, when you come across a Nas song that you've never heard of, to you it's new. When you go digging to find out, oh shit, when did this come out, and you see the release date, then you find out it's been out for 2 years, and you're just now hearing about it. It doesn't. For me, it wouldn't water down how I feel about the song. It's just gonna make me want to dig more into that artist's catalog. So I have a strong dislike for people who ask for music, but it has to be 2 to 3 months. Like I get it, but then it's like when you like something and it's new to you for the first time, you know, do you like it less now because it's been out longer? So that's a strong dislike I have towards people when they say that.
Mm.
Because a song, if me, if I write a song and it's a storytelling song and it's still relatable 2 years later, I'm gonna send it to you because that's what we're constantly tackling. So that whole expiration date on artists and music, I think is truly corny.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Some people say you're only as good as your last hit. So that's why the industry is where it's at right now, with this more single based rather than like album based. And people are just kind of more like pumping out like song after song, and sometimes it's not like the best quality music, you know. That's where we're at right now. It's about quantity, not quality. Um, I say push the quality, but also at the same time you don't want to not be current. So it's kind of like a catch 22. It's tough. I know it's tough because I deal with it too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like I have a lot of music that I haven't released yet, and I don't want to just throw it out there and waste it. You know what I mean? I believe in a marketing plan behind every release, and sometimes you feel this pressure to just throw shit out there just so that people know you're still alive, because people will actually hit you up and be like, "Oh, you still rapping? Oh, you're
Yeah,
still doing music?" Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've been doing fucking music forever. What are you talking about? How you know me as an artist? What are you talking about? But that's what it is. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, but I would say take it at a pace that you feel comfortable with. You know what I mean? Um, don't don't burn yourself out trying to just keep up with everybody else and just throwing out fluff. Try your best to make your best music. Take your time with like the best songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like this is like a crazy big huge hit, take your time with it. Don't rush those. But other ones that are, more fun or just easier to make or whatever, those are the ones maybe you want to put out to keep the scene hot while you planning your big next moves. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. Like, it's just kind of like, it is what it is. So all I can say is how to like deal with it where it's at right now. But I wish it was different. I wish it was more about the projects again, and like look what Beyonce just did.
Right.
I don't know if you saw it, but Black is King. I watched the whole project. It's a whole visual project, all her songs beginning to end, and they all are connected, and it tells one big story. And you don't see her on Instagram every day telling you
Right.
what she's doing throughout the day. You don't see her face in the phone talking shit about people or stupid shit. You know, she's not thirsty for attention, but this is how she gets her attention. Like, you could still do that. You could still do it, but you just got to do it right, and do it
Right.
big, prepared. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of like stuff that we're kind of like trying to do more now. Like, we want to do more longer thought out projects. We want to get back to the project scene instead of just dropping singles. We really we got so much music and projects already lined up. It's just now preparing preparation for all of that is the most important part.
And like and you know, I actually still have it on my Instagram page. I highlighted it, and this is when Nipsey was on 105.1, and he said, there are artists that that are single artists, and then there are artists that are body of work artists. And me personally, I don't really consider myself a single artist, and not that I have anything against it, but I love that feeling of this is the opening credits and these are the ending credits, but you're gonna get the full vision from beginning to end. Like that
Hmm.
feeling when you play song number one and you're looking at the album inserts. Like, I love that feeling of listening to something from beginning to end, the build up to like the center of the project, and like, it's like a roller coaster. You get to the top, then it's a big drop. So it's like, I that's me. I've never really been the type of person to just want to throw out single after single. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I personally don't have anything wrong with it. But just like Nip said, you have your singles artists and you have your body of work artists.
Hmm.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with either or.
You just have to
It's
know
just
who you are.
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly.
That's all
And
it is.
you as an artist, right? Do you have any writing rituals, like whether you're writing or you're in the studio? Like, what are your I hope I'm using the right word. What are your rituals?
um I don't have a ritual per se. I mean, I just need to be comfortable. I don't like to be around a lot of people for the most part, unless I'm doing collabos. Like, I like to be alone. A lot of times I write in the tub.
Okay.
Um, I write early. I switched up from writing late at night to early. They say your most creative thoughts or your best thoughts come to you first thing in the morning because you just woke up from sleeping. So I learned to kind of like try to retain whatever the hell I can remember, which is hardly anything. But I try my best to. I feel more now. I'm a morning person. I used to be a late nighter, and I still could be up late at night, but my body wakes me up super early in the morning now anyway, after being a mom for forever. So now I just wake up early. So yeah, I like to get it done early. I like to be up with the sun. I like to get my thoughts together just for me, like for my day, and also for my creativity. I like to get it out early, but I'm still creative any time of the day. It just depends on my mood.
And yeah,
But
I've
no, there's no
never heard
ritual.
that.
There's no
I
ritual.
like me, like when I'm writing, I don't know, like I feel like I'm more in a zone when I'm writing and I have coffee with me.
And you have what with you?
Coffee.
Oh, coffee. Yeah, it depends.
Yeah,
Like, you feel like you need a little boost to get up or whatever. Yeah,
word.
I mean, no, I mean, yeah, depends. So everybody has their little something to get them where they gotta be. So whatever that is, whatever that might be. But for me, I like to do it early now. I don't like to be up too late doing it. I feel like I just whatever stress I go through throughout the day is already weighing on me. So by the end of the day, I really don't even be in the mood for it. Like I'd rather just get it out the way early.
And
Not
how
for
do you?
nothing, writing is not always easy. Writing is actually very hard because you kind of go against your natural self. Like naturally we want to be stimulated constantly. We want to be visually stimulated. We want to be doing things, constantly moving. So to sit there and focus for so long, sometimes whatever amount of time it takes for you to write, so sometimes inspiration hits you right away.
Mhm.
Sometimes it takes a little while until you get hit with it. You know what I'm saying? And we do whatever we do to get that inspiration. Doesn't mean it always works though. Um, so it can be very challenging to write. That's why for me now I like to do it early because I feel like in the morning I'm just more open to it. Like I'm more open to life and just being grateful and just, what I'm saying, my thoughts and my ideas from the night that from my dreams or whatever I went through or whatever. It's just there.
Hmm. Like, what's the craziest concept that that's come to you coming out of sleep?
I don't fucking know. I don't remember now.
Um,
I know I had such a thought the other day. I freaking forgot what it was, but it was such a high thought. I was like, what the hell? Uh, damn, I forgot what it was. I have thoughts all the time. I just don't always write them down, which is why it's important to keep a pad and a pen next to your bed so you can write everything down. Uh, but crazy concepts all the time. I mean, that's what we do though. You know what I mean? Like we always it's what we do at ScholarVMG is we're creative people, we're visionaries. So like all the visuals that we do, Jay's the music producer, but I have a lot of input with the kind of stuff that I put out because I tell him like, a lot of times like what I'm interested in look, hearing or whatever, and he'll go find it and then create something out of that or whatever. So there's a lot of collaboration and creativity that comes into it. And with the visuals, like all of that is in-house. So ideas are flying left and right. It's just, we got to capture them and put them down. A lot of times they be flying.
right. And during like this whole pandemic, how well I know y'all have your own studio. So is it more so for you? Is it more so like you gotta go outside and go, or is it like in the next room for you?
No, that really depends on my mood. Like if sometimes you get tired of doing it alone, like being alone. You want to have that energy and vibe, and I don't like to bring people to my house. So if I want like a collab or if I just want to be around different energy, I'll go to a studio. But I don't have to. That's just a personal choice if I want to.
Oh, okay, word. And how do you like? Because I know you posted about this the other day, and I had commented, and you had responded to my comment. So for for anybody watching, like, how do you feel about these platforms taking advantage of artists?
Um, I mean, no, it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, it depends on who you're talking about. I'm not sure. It depends on what kind of situation you're talking about. But I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? My many years of grinding hard. I've definitely encountered people taking advantage of situations. You have to learn the hard way. Unfortunately, it's like coming from the Midwest and moving to New York City,
Mm,
right? You're gonna get taken advantage of. People gonna dead ass take advantage of you because they're gonna see you not from here. You don't know what's up, and you're thinking everybody's nice and everything is sweet. But same thing like the game. Like, don't even come into this thinking everybody's a fan. Don't think everybody loves you. Don't think everybody's your friend because they're not. Everybody's out for an opportunity and a leg up. Everybody. So you just got to be very careful how you move and pick your team accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Just pay close attention. That's really all you could do. I mean, it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Don't get you can. I mean, everybody gets taken advantage of. It is everybody.
word.
Talk to the top of the top. They'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? When they got taken for a fool, even when they was midway, even when they was kind of sort of at the top, like. we all fall for it. Everybody's just trying very hard to reach their dream and to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So, and people know that, and they'll take advantage of that drive. So you just gotta be very careful.
And
And like I said, it's important to invest in yourself, but just be very careful and do your research before you invest that money, because you want to make sure that that person's going to deliver on their word and that you actually going to see something from it. You know what I'm saying?
right. And like speaking like the whole taking advantage, right? And there might not be a connection here, but it hit me. Like that whole saying, like don't meet your idols. Um, have you ever came across anybody in the industry that you admired that just turned out to be a complete douchebag? Without naming names.
Yeah, of course.
Hmm.
Absolutely. People are people. Some people are assholes.
Would you care to share a story?
Without naming names, yeah. I mean, I met somebody, a rapper who I looked up to, and I tried to just like shake their hand, say what's up, and they kind of like brushed me off and was like, "Go talk to my manager." So that
Damn.
was kind of whack. It's one of those moments. But it happens. Who was I to him? You know what I'm saying? It was a he,
Right.
by the way, but I'm not gonna say no names. But who was I? So at the time, they didn't know who I was, and they probably get approached all the time. So you can't at the same. I always try to play devil's advocate. If you haven't noticed, it sucks. But at the same time, like, who am I to expect people to know who I am and treat me how I feel I want to be treated? They not here to be freaking Mother Teresa. They just artists. Sometimes artists are assholes. That's why they say don't meet your idols.
And like with hip hop, you know, well, first off, do you feel like hip hop's the number one genre?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. So now we were blessed with Big L, Biggie, Pac, Pun, to name a few. And I've had this discussion with Chris Rivers when I had him on. Do you feel from the time of their passing up until today, and I say this and I don't want to sound crazy when I say it, it's not that we needed them to die, but we needed their impact on the game. What we needed their impact on on us, and how how much we appreciated their music. Had they still been alive, do you think music, hip hop, would have evolved the way it did?
Um, I mean, that hip hop was already on its way to mainstream, so I don't think that would have changed. But yeah, I mean, it would have been different if Biggie was still here, been different if Pun was still here. Who knows? At the same time, you see how sometimes an artist could be like up here, and then attitudes change, and then they down here. So it's kind of hard to predict because you never know where popular opinion is going to be. Every time we think something is a certain kind of way, like all of a sudden the opinion changes, and now we against it. So at a time like this, everything is uncertain. I wouldn't say, you know, up from down or left from right, but I could say I feel like hip hop was already destined to be where it's at right now. It would have happened regardless. But definitely Biggie and Pun and Big L and so many other artists that passed away was crazy influencers. What we now have, you know what I'm saying? Not to take away from them. But I think hip hop is just something that's just so great and bigger than that it would have been here regardless.
And shouts to John in the room. What are your top three collaborations that you've done?
That I've already done.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well, I love all the music that I've done with Jay. I mean, it depends if you're looking for like numbers, how big it did, or it's just my favorite collabos, period. But
Your
I
favorite?
love
I think we
just
can.
my favorite. I've done joints with Justina, who's now on Wildin' Out, and my sis Sarah Connor, who's like the godmother of female battle rap. Um, and I thought that was pretty dope. Um, I did records with Cortez. Uh, got Conan and Brooke in there. I actually did a record with Chino XL back in the day, and that was like a big deal to me. I did a record with Ali Vegas, who's like a super barsman in my book. Um, I haven't done like a lot of really big, huge features. I mean, we got a joint with Wale, but it's kind of like off record.
Um,
The joint I did with Webstar was pretty dope. Um, but I have records that I've done with other artists that I love just as much. I have records for moods. I'm like a mood music kind of person, so I have different records for different moods.
all right. And naming those artists. Perfect segue. How do you feel about female artists feeling the need to sell sex to gain a following? Like an example, OnlyFans and you know premium Snapchats. Because like I look at artists like you and Snow the Product and Eternia and Gavlin, Rhapsody, even my homegirl Venomous, and it's I've never heard any of you had to degrade yourselves in your music. Like it's just a natural thing if that's what people think. But like, how do you feel about some of these artists? They, become dancers and then they create these OnlyFans accounts and like just to gain more of a following. Do you think that's a smart move on their part?
I think if that's what you do and that's your persona, then that's the right thing for you to do. But if it's not, don't feel pressure to do it. You know what I'm saying? If that's how you are, real talk, like if that's just how, like you okay and you feel open like that and you want to do that and you're a sexy kind of person and you just like this, that's what you do. So then do that. But if that's not what you're open to, don't let somebody pressure you to do it. Find your own niche and market yourself. This so the thing with marketing is it's so powerful because you can sway people's opinion to whatever the fuck you want if you know how to market. That's all you gotta do. Look at Trump. You know what I'm saying? It's just all about campaigns and being creative and finding your lane and really discovering who you are as an artist and as a person and how you want to portray yourself. How do you want the world to see you? And once you figure that out, then you can come up with all these marketing schemes behind it and say, this is how I want the world to see me. This is what labels do for you. But now we're independent, so we don't have that. So now you have to look at it in that way and say, this is how I need to market myself. You know what I'm saying? I can't feel any kind of which way about it because if that's how you feel, that's how you are in your daily life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're a dancer or if you really like that's how you are, like then talk about how you are. Like that's not how I am. I talk about other stuff, my life. I talk about what matters to me and what I experience, and there's gonna be a lane for that. It's not for everybody. I've had people not be into it. You know what I'm saying? People be so about it. Oh, I thought you could have did more of this. I thought you could have sang. I thought you could have, harmonized, or I thought you could have been harder. I thought you could have rapped about this, or been more sexy. I've heard it all. It's so funny that everybody wants to tell a woman how they think she should be. Everybody has an opinion when you're a woman. Everybody has an opinion about every fucking thing. Oh, she's pretty, but if she would just, why didn't she get surgery? Then you get surgery. Oh, why she got surgery? She mad fake. Oh, but if she would just talk like this. Oh, but if she wouldn't talk like that. Oh, but it's like you can't fucking be anything. How can you design yourself to make everybody happy? You can't. So if that's how you are, do that. If that's not how you are, don't do that.
Um, damn, I was gonna
Like for
say
instance, I'm only saying this because of like the WAP video just came out, right?
yeah.
Wait, wait. Before you do that, can I just do this one sound effect? Okay.
Like the WAP video came out, the WAP record, and everybody, it's like the fucking trending topic.
Yeah.
Why does it fucking matter what they're saying in the fucking record? Why? Why? And it's not just men, it's women too. Oh, but I feel so every female rapper has to be this inspirational fucking yes sister. Like we all gotta be Mother Teresa's, like the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And to each his own, because I don't even be on that shit. If you listen to my you know I don't be, but why does it bother people?
Right.
I be in the club, I be turning up, I be listening to that shit, I be in the mood for that shit. But there's a mood for this shit too. And there's a mood for that shit, and a mood for that shit, and a mood for that. Why, as a woman, do we have to always care about what everybody's gonna say and their opinions about how you gotta carry yourself as a woman? Why is it everybody else's business? Serious. But a man, he could do whatever the fuck he wants, and it's like, oh, he's stupid. Oh, he's just, this dumb nigga over here. Like, oh, okay. But I'm a horrible person. I'm a bad mother. I'm a bad woman. I'm a fucking whore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ignorant. I'm just ratchet. I'm for the streets. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't be intelligent. I can't have a marketing scheme behind it. I can't know what works. I couldn't have paid attention. I couldn't have said, okay, this is my you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just automatically all the stories and all the concepts that people create in their own mind because they're so biased. It's crazy. Like when you really sit back and don't talk and just listen to people and the shit that they come up with. It's just insane. It's insane what people really think. When really at the end of the day, this is just art. This is just art. This is somebody having a point of inspiration and saying this is something I want to create and it sounds dope to me. So why is it so, but art is subjective. So I mean, yeah, you got to take it as it comes, but damn, like people were just really ready to tear somebody up and down like over a song, like crazy.
And the crazy thing is that everybody's been talking about it, and I've been the kind of person to not to wait until like all the talking has calmed down, because I'll tell you right now, I don't know a single lyric from that song because I haven't even heard the song fully or even watched the video.
Hmm.
And just knowing that they actually put out a song together, in a way, it made me happy because there always seems to be this pinning one artist against another that's been going, and it's always really been happening with females. Nikki was on top, then when Iggy was
Let me
on the
tell you
rise,
something.
pinned them.
9 times out of 10, it wasn't the females who did it.
Oh yeah, no, no, and it sucks because it's like when we needed more female artists, there was always all this pinning one against the other. Cardi came out, pinning Cardi against Nicki. Megan Thee Stallion came out, and for some reason, I thought Megan and Cardi were beefing. They put out the song like, oh shit, that's dope.
That was dope, right?
And I still haven't even seen the video or even watched it. And not to even sound disgusting, as a guy, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna enjoy the video. I haven't even heard the song yet.
Why not?
Honestly, I just been in my own bubble writing and getting my
Okay.
thoughts together, that I haven't took the moment to like hit that switch off so I can like actually like watch the video and actually listen to the song. But I know about it because it's all over the damn internet. all
Yeah,
up
but
and
that's
down
the
my
thing is
timeline.
that you know about it, but you know what other people are saying about it, so you're reading off their opinions and their biases. Just don't
I,
have an opinion about it until you
no,
actually listen to it and watch the video.
yeah,
I
no,
think it was dope. I think it was.
like
I mean, it is what it is. You want to talk about your wet ass pussy? Go right ahead, mama. That's what you want to talk about. Who
yo,
am I to tell
Mala,
you that's not cool? Like that's what's up.
Mala, yo, not to sound slow as hell, yo, but I didn't
You
even
didn't know
realize
that's
that
what it's good for.
because there you go. See, that's how away I've been from it that I didn't even know it. That I didn't even know what that was. I'm over here thinking, well, I'm like, okay, like if the beat is hot, I'm gonna get on it. I'm just gonna call a bunch of dudes some whack ass pussies. Now I know what WAP stands
That's
for.
what it stands for. And there's not a woman on this planet at some point in her life, her sexual adult life, that didn't feel like, ow, I got this wet ass pussy. So, you know what? Whoever want to be uptight about it, you got that dap, that dry ass pussy.
But yeah, no, like the yeah, I've been seeing the comments. I've been seeing people for it. I've been seeing a lot of people against it. Me, the fact that they collab is what's gonna. That's what sold me. I don't like. I'm.
That's
Doesn't matter
fire.
what any
And it needs to
everybody.
happen more.
Everybody is entitled to their opinion and their feelings. But me, like, yeah, it's a competitive sport. But I also like seeing when artists finally come together. It could have been Fox and Kim. It could have, it was Jay and Nas. Like it's dope to see that happen because at the end of the day, it's bigger than the music. So to
Exactly.
see Cardi and Megan finally do something is like, oh shit, like shouts to them,
It's
and
dope. Like you don't
that
have
alone
to.
is just
Not
gonna make you
only
watch
can
it.
there be more than one, but you don't have to pick sides either. Like you can just do music with other women and just continue it. It don't got to just be one only collaboration. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like it should just be more women in the game and more women doing music with women. Like we're
right,
artists. We're artists. When people just take a step back from everything and just look at it and just say, but we're artists, that's what matters is the art. We just need to keep the culture moving and just be about the art.
word. And yeah, no, like even the solidarity is just like dope because it's and it's like I used to be in a duo with this dude, right? And I was never that type of teenager that would go through, like he would invite females to the studio, and they knew me too, so they'd go, and like the whole time he'd be there, like really on some thirst bucket shit, and they'd look at me, and I'd just be like, because I was never that type of person. And so it's like, and then especially with female artists, there's always someone trying to get over on a lot of female artists, and it just sucks because sometimes it's not, they give up their dream because they were sold a dream and it wasn't what it was. Because when they got there, it was a whole different scenario. So it's like they don't want to go through that heartbreak or feeling set up, or someone slip them a drink while they supposed to be working. So it's like I feel bad a lot of the times for female artists, and that's why that I even asked that question about them having OnlyFans and shit, because it's like if yeah, because you do that, it doesn't give anybody the right to violate. And this but is to not even defend those who do violate women. It's just that it's a fear. It's like, damn, like you actually just opened the OnlyFans account. Now it's just like, now I fear someone crossing the line because it happens.
Mm.
Like I'm not, whatever a woman does with her body, that's on you. You know, if I know you, I'm gonna support what you're doing, regardless of what I may feel. But once you do something that you normally don't do, the fear comes into play.
Right, I feel you. It's also her body, so she can do what she want, and we don't even talk about men what they do with their bodies ever in a conversation. So it's like, why are we talking about women and what they do with their bodies? If they want to do OnlyFans, more power to you. Make that money. That's all I can say to
Uh,
that.
Soul Slap came on. What was the inspiration behind the Soul Slap? Was it the World Star video?
Well, no, no. What happened was the producer, my boy Static. It was the World Star video. It was I guess, the viral video of the guy slapping the girl. My boy had sampled the actual video clip. He had sampled the audio of the guy slapping the girl, and he put it in the beat. So it was already built in. And when he told me what it was, I just, kept it in line with what he was already thinking. And
That's
so we did the
crazy.
Soul Slap record, and then the video definitely, reenacted it, but from a female standpoint. So I'm the one that's getting bothered on the train, and then I smack the dude, and then it kind of takes you into this whole another reality. It smacks him into this reality, and it's like this whole big party, this retro party, back into, like, because they was clowning him for his jacket, which was old
Hmm.
school. So the
Yeah.
smack took him, took him back to the old school, and it was his retro party or whatever. And then at the end, we put the jacket on him, and he wakes up and he actually has a jacket on when he's leaving the train or whatever. So that was the whole idea behind it. Um, yeah, we did our best with it. I think it came out pretty dope. A lot of
It
people,
did.
was open to it or whatever. Kind of showed like it showed like a little bit of the vintage, but a little bit of today, like kind of
Hmm.
blended the two together. So it was pretty cool. And we had the dancing in it and everything, so you know, made it
Like it
like
was
a dope
definitely a
one.
fire. It was a fire ass video, and I correct me if I'm wrong. I even remember when you was even asking about, yo, like, where can I get an 8 ball jacket?
Yeah,
And then when to see the video actually come, I was like, yo, like, so fucking dope.
yeah. I had to look online for that shit. I wanted like because they was the 8 ball jackets after that incident happened. The 8 ball jackets came back in style, so they started making new 8 ball jackets, but they wasn't like the old school ones, the padded ones that was like real thick with the shoulder pads and stuff. I wanted like the real one from like he had on. I was trying to find the same one he had on, but I
Mm.
couldn't find it. Like I was looking everywhere, I couldn't find it. So I had to settle for another one, but it was still cool. I like the colors. It was really big on me, but whatever. We made it work, and we just made it happen.
Or not that, and just speaking about that video, another one, and I'm gonna bring this up, and not to even like try to like shed any negative light on it. Unfortunately, well, did you ever get? Did you ever feel like, damn, um, you could have patched things up with Mac Miller?
We did kind of patch things up at the end. It wasn't really beef after that. It was just kind of like we talked about it. We just let it go and kept it moving, both of us on our ends.
Mm. Like, what was your reaction when you found out that Mac passed?
I mean, it was whack. It was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I don't wish that on nobody. So, like we had already kind of our thing had cooled off. It was a long time ago. So to hear that is just sad. You know what I'm saying? He was young, had a lot more years to go. So,
Word, and I feel like listening to his body of work, I feel like he was at that stage where it was like he was getting there, like there, and I just feel like it was taken from us.
mm,
Because I've always thought he was dope. Um, I kind of like, I guess I was distant towards his music in the very beginning because of just things that I've seen and things that I've heard, but I've never discredited his skills.
mm,
But like to like just like hearing like the transition his music was making and just seeing like he was on like he was heading there, wherever there is, um, it's just unfortunate that. Like we lost it. And then you think about Pop Smoke, and it's like, damn, like he didn't even get to enjoy his success
Yeah.
and like the impact that he had for the time that he was here, and who knows what it could have turned into. And it's just like a bunch of other artists that that they're being taken away. Um, how do you feel like like do you feel like something can be done like differently? Because I know everybody, like at the end of the day, you're home. We get off of this live, and you got a line of coke right in front of you. You're just like, well, that was done. Snort. So it's like, like, is there something that you do you feel like there's something that could be done? Like, damn, like, do you checking on your friends more? Like, just like, yo, if you can ever talk, you can hit me up. Like, do you feel like there's something, especially with these artists, that they're given a chance, and it's like, yo, it's like you're being taken away from us.
I mean, well, sometimes, when being an artist can be like being in a bubble sometimes. You know what I mean? Um, Especially when you get to a certain point, you get to a certain level, and every people start to know who you are. So you be feeling funny, like to go certain places because you don't want people to be in your business. You know what I'm saying? And then you end up like either isolating yourself, and that can be depressing. And then people turn to substances to feel better. You know what I'm saying? Or the pressure from being an artist, the pressure from trying to always please everybody and be awake all the time and be on and run around and, you know what I'm saying, constantly pump out this music and constantly be up at these events and smiling at people. It's not easy. And then people be talking about you like, oh, but they're not nice. They weren't nice to me. Oh, you're supposed to be nice to every. It's not easy to be nice to everybody, especially when people are rude to you and they don't even realize they're being rude. When people are talking about you online, or people formed an opinion about you, or people criticize you all the time, like it's hard. Yeah, definitely. Like we all gotta check in on our friends more, and you don't gotta be a musician to do that. Like you just gotta be a human being, because life is hard. Life is hard. We all going through some shit right now. We're in a freaking worldwide pandemic. You know what I'm saying? People are losing their jobs. People are homeschooling. People are dealing with shit they're not used to. Yeah, checking on your people more. You know what I'm saying? But also, too, be accountable for yourself. Be accountable for your actions. You know what I'm saying? Be responsible for yourself and take care of yourself. That's a responsibility of you, of your own, to take care of yourself. It's nobody else's job. So if that means slow down, chill, you know what I'm saying? Maybe don't get high today, or maybe don't drink today, or try to eat good today, don't eat meat today, or work out today, or whatever the case may be. You gotta take care of yourself too. Can't expect people to come and save you too. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we get weak and we need somebody to lean on. So yeah, it's important to be a really good friend and be a good family.
And you mentioned pandemic, and it just reminded me that through the pandemic, we actually lost Fred the Godson too, which was
Rest in peace.
where it sucks because I used to work in the Diamond District, so I would always see him with Arsonist and Joel Ortiz on a few occasions. So
Yeah.
it's just like another one, truly dope MC, and unfortunately, the pandemic took him away, and everything with the pandemic, and you mentioning Trump earlier, like how's how's everything that's going on in the world from COVID to the racism to everything else, like how, like even like the police brutality, how's that affected your creativity? Because and then I remember when you put out Hands Up,
Yeah. That was
like
from the
how.
Eric Garner. That was from Eric Garner. That was right
Mhm.
after Trayvon.
Yeah, like how's how's everything like watching the news and even with the bombing in Lebanon, like does that put like a certain feeling in your body when it's like damn like you know it makes it a little much harder now to like write or I can't it's hard to think positive when I'm constantly being fed the negative and this is what we're going through and you go to a store next thing you know you're dealing with a Karen and you're being called something and you're being told to go back to somewhere that you like dude I'm not from Israel so it's like
Mm-mm-mm.
how has everything like affected your creativity.
Well, I feel like art is a representation of life. So art interprets, what we're going through right now. So now is the time to write about all of that, to reflect about all of that. All this stuff is going on. Um, there's so much to talk about. How do you not write about it? Really, I feel like how do you not have some kind of whatever the feeling might be? How do you not feel something about it? There's so much emotions going on right now. This time, I feel like it's a horrible time for the world, but it's the best time for artists right now because there's all this free time and there's so much stuff to write about. So now is the time for the artists to just start to reflect about everything that's going on and interpret it their own way. We did a video, we did the Times Up, dropped it during quarantine, we did the video during quarantine, we was on lockdown, So there's always a way. And I mean, people want to hear about nobody wants to hear about the club right now. We're not in the clubs. Who wants to hear
Right,
about the club? You can't go to the club right now. I want to hear about what's going on right now.
right. And have you went to the protest?
Not these. Nah, not these protests. I have gone in the past. This time I sat out. I was with them in spirit, but I sat this one out. There was a lot of stuff going on, and I didn't want to be there, to be honest with you. But I have gone in the past, and I definitely still I'm with the fight and everything. But it was a quarantine, and I have my son to think about too, so we was home. Um,
Right. Um, who 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 are some artists that like you said that your son told you that he listens to Hobson. What other artists have you listened to that nobody would probably expect you to listen to?
some of the JI stuff.
Okay.
Um, some other artists that my son be playing. I don't remember the name. He be playing me a lot of new stuff. He's into all that stuff. I listen to kind of like whatever catches my ear. I still listen to the radio when I'm in the car, and I be on YouTube and whatever I see pop up that I think is hot, I be listening to. I'm not like out looking for anybody in particular. It's just whatever comes across me that I like or that
And
I'm interested.
like with independent powerhouses like Tech Nine and Strange Music, you got Russ, you got Insane Clown Posse with their following, um, being an artist who has her own label, like what going forward into the future, like what would Scholar Music Vision Group like what would y'all like to accomplish? Whether that's like signing an artist or like what's the vision for your for your label going into the future?
Well, first, we always wanted to show everybody before we try to sign anybody, we always wanted to show what we can do as artists because there's no way we could push somebody else and make a promise to somebody else unless we show them our track record. So that's why we've always just tried to push ourselves. Plus, we're artists, so we want to make sure that the whole reason why we even combined and made a platform was so we could put our music out. So that's what we do first. But now that we've like kind of established ourselves and we feel comfortable, we definitely want to like find some really hungry but artists that are hardworking, artists that are like us, like that understand the responsibility that comes with it, because you are your own business. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm my own business, Jay his own business. We come together and we create something, like another artist that understands what is behind being an independent artist, because it's not going to be handed to you on a silver platter. You still have to work for it. You have to work for it. Um, we knew that early on, and it's just a lot of times like there's so much talent. Like there's freaking endless talent out there. You'd be amazed at how much talent you come across just actually attending shows and paying attention to people and listening to stuff. But the reason why you don't hear all this talent is because a lot of artists are not disciplined. You know what I'm saying? And there's artists out here that are willing to put the work in, and they may not be like what you consider, the best up to par for you, but they're able to effectively, not only put out the music, because that's the easy part. Making the music and dropping it, that's easy.
Mhm.
That's just step one. You know what I'm saying? There's so many more steps to getting your record out there, to where it's it could be even considered to be on the radio. You might just come with the money and people be like, nah, I'm not playing it. Even if you give me the money, I'm not playing it. Because it might be trash. Or they take your money and then play it for like 15 seconds, not even 30 seconds, and cut it off. And you just spend racks for a couple seconds. You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready for that. So, like a lot of times, a lot of artists, they be feeling themselves and they be thinking they up here when they not.
Right.
When they not. They didn't build the buzz. They didn't put the work in. They didn't get their stage game correct. They didn't get their sound right. They don't even know like their sound. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know what kind of artist they are. They haven't found themselves. Like that's work. That don't happen overnight. So, it is what it is when it comes to that. Like,
Word. And right before like there's this thing that I want to ask you, but before I get into that, what advice can you give someone who, let's say you go to the store and someone walks up to you and like,
mhm.
yo, I rock with you, I see what you're doing, and I'm inspired by it, but I feel stuck as an artist in today's music world. What advice can you give that artist who's ready to take that next step?
I would, well, first of all, I respect somebody that can actually say that rather than pretend that you know what you're doing and you don't. I respect the artist that at least is self-aware enough to know that they're stuck, because it happens to everybody. Even some of your top favorite artists, you know what I'm saying, who are already established, you can get stuck. You can get stifled. Creativity is not an on and off switch. You know what I'm saying? It's something when you find that inspiration and it hits you, that's what it is. Um, what I would say to that person is it's gonna take some work to find yourself. And you're gonna have to maybe take a step back and actually, instead of putting work into creating at that moment, take a step back and put work into finding yourself, because that's key. It's key. You can never convince somebody that you're dope unless you believe it. And if you don't know yourself and you don't know what you're doing, it's not a product that you can effectively market. You know what I'm saying? Um, if it means taking a trip or just taking a break, changing your scenery, your surroundings, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to do that. That's why Kanye, when he was making his album, he had to go like take a trip and completely isolate himself. He went like far away from home. I forgot where he went, but he went far.
Yeah,
And you got to do that. You got to put yourself up in the Airbnb somewhere in the mountains sometimes, and you got to just, you know what I'm saying, let the juices flow. It is what it is. Sometimes you got to do that. So, like I always believe in changing your scenery. I go through it a lot. Actually, I go through it a lot because real life it's there. It takes over. You know what I mean? And I'm not up there yet. I'm still working my way up there. So until that happens, I still got to make things happen at home. And I'm in the struggle still, you know what I'm saying? Even though we have this company, we're still keeping the company afloat. It's a pandemic. Like there's a whole bunch of shit going on. So, you know, gotta take a step back if needed, if need, you know. But I would say just don't forget to come back. Take a step back, but don't forget to come back.
Word. Katie, are you there, Katie?
Do you need another bomb?
Well, yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. There you go. A Mala bomb right there. Katie, as before I get into this last part of this conversation, Mala, what I want to do right now, right, is take this time to play greener side. Am I saying that right? Forgive me if I said that wrong.
You got it.
Hold on.
Greener side.
Queued up because His Royal Highness didn't tell me that.
No, it's just that, you know what I mean? It's the fan in me. It's crazy. Someone just literally sent me a message on Facebook talking about Zans. What? No. Zans.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna play it now.
All right. So, Mala, before you Katie, before you play it, Mala, please introduce your song.
This one's called Greener Side. It's produced by Hitman, and this one was out on BET. It's super dope. The video, you can still look it up right now on YouTube, and directed by SVMG Pictures. You know what I'm saying? And also, my boy Dead Eyes. Shout out to Dead Eyes. He did his thing on this as well. So, yeah, it's a fire song, fire video, and it's called Greener Side.
All right, yo, we'll be right back. Check out this song.
One second.
That can miss me with the fake shit. Don't shake my hand if you a fake bitch.
I'm good on the side. I'm a good on the side.
That can miss me with the fake shit. Don't shake my hand if you a fake bitch.
I'm good on the side. I'm a good on the side.
Look at me, all these bitches worried about me. When I walk up in the spot, I know these bitches even know me. Now they turn around, try to act like these bitches ain't see me. When they know that it's my night, and my name is all about me. Many of the ego, call the beat, now they all set. Beat goes, yeah, I'm bougie, I like a on me, but I bought that. Beat goes, still crack pussy at the motel, but I roast the whole video, but it ain't make it. Now you just make it up on that video. My car don't lie, I go shopping anytime. Fix charts to my line, when my windows tinted black. I pull up like I'm Barack, hit the pulpit and I rock some little bitch. Made it up to that can miss me with the fake shit. Don't shake my hand if you a fake bitch.
I'm good on the side. I'm a good on the side.
That can miss me with the fake shit. Don't shake my hand if you a fake bitch.
I'm a good on the side. I'm a good on the
Fashion
side.
so ass drop like an E-class. And you pay the buy by your shoes red. At the bar for 412, but leave out the foreheads. Put a book and spin nobody book. Who can hop the looking for a look? Scuba diving in the DMs for BD, bitch, you off the hook. Facts about my hustle. On the off the books, but I was never short. The product never cut. Fucking pure spot. Always come back no matter how it look. When I'm in the booth, you know I always cook. I'm hot dog, they shady crook. On the top eyes, turn top down, but I rock by. It's a drop by. My car don't lie, I go shopping anytime. Fix charts to my line, when my windows tinted black. I pull up like I'm Barack, hit the pulpit and I rock some little bitch. Made it up trap. That can miss me with the fake shit. Don't shake my hand if you a fake bitch.
I'm good on the side. I'm a good on the side.
That can miss me with the fake shit. Don't shake my hand if you a fake bitch.
I'm good on the side. I'm I'm a great on the east side.
Katie, was that your sound effect?
Yeah.
All right. A little too much fun with the sound effects today. I see you. I got you. I got you.
I was trying to get some type of transition because I don't got a mixing board right now.
That hey, shit over here. It's acceptable over here. Mala. Now
Yeah.
we're coming to the end, right? So I've done this already, maybe about 2 to 3 times. So now, before we close this out, I created something for you. This is called the Mala Mala Trivia, right? But this one's a little different. With verses going on, right? I figured,
Mm.
okay, we're going to put a bunch of production equipment in the room. We're going to put 4 producers in the room who have to collectively produce a couple features for you, right? Now, I got the names of the producers I'm going to put in that room. But on a scale of from 1 to 5 mics, I'm going to name a bunch of artists. And I want you to tell me where would you rate that song? How do you think it will come out? Right? On a
If I
scale
did a
from
song with
one,
them,
yeah, like fantasy collabs. On a scale of 1 to 5 mics, the producers in that room, Timberland, Swiss Beats, Scott Storch, and Dr. Dre. They
that's
all
4.
collectively, yeah,
Okay.
they all collectively have to produce these these collabs for you. So on a scale of 1 to 5 mics, I'm gonna name a couple names, and you let me know where you think that collab would go. Doesn't necessarily mean that it'd be whack. Sometimes who you think you could be paired with might not work out. So here are the names. I'm gonna break it down: female, then male. Now here we go. Timberland, Swiss Beats, Scott Storch, and Dr. Dre are collectively producing these collabs. Now, artists, where would you rate that collab?
Wait, you didn't say the artist. Who's the artist?
Fact though, you didn't say that. And he looking wild crazy right now.
Is he frozen?
I don't know. I got a
I
screenshot though.
think he's frozen.
So I know one of the ones he said were Rod Digga.
Oh, that would be fire.
So on the
Rod Digga's nasty. She got bars. I think that would be a 5. I think it would be a 4, and it would be a 5 if we got a fire like singer for the hook. Like we would need somebody to soften it up, because she got bars, so I would want to go hard with the bars, and then like I don't even know what would happen with the hook.
Ooh. Sorry, I held it down, so I
All right,
said Rod Digga because that
all
was
right,
the only thing I remembered off the top.
all right, cool.
So I'm out.
Wait, where did
Did
you
you
leave
hear
off?
us? Okay, you were frozen for a second.
So I
Yeah,
took
no.
a you look wild, but I only you were telling her on a scale of 1 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't tell her a name, so I came in to say fact, so you definitely didn't. So I remembered you said Rod Digga to me before, so I just told her that. So she said she
All
would.
right. All right, thank you. I thought you caught the first name. Bet. You got Rod Digger. You put Rod Digger down. Um, Lauren
Pause.
Hill.
Oh, Lauren Hill. See, that's different. Like Lauren Hill. Okay, so I felt like Rodiga, it would be a 4 only because we would need somebody to jump in on the hook. Because I feel like we would be going back and forth with the bars so much that the hook would kind of be abandoned. So we would need somebody. But if I did a record with Lauren Hill, I feel like it would be a 5 because she could also sing the hook.
Mm.
She
All
would kind of handle that for me.
right. Rhapsody.
Rhapsody. I think she could also be a 5 because she could do both.
Okay.
She could do kind of like a little sing-songy thing on the hook. She'd be doing her little sing-song stuff sometimes.
Remy.
Oh my God. Remy and me, I think would just be bars. It would just be bar, 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 bar. So, I mean, it would be a 5 on like a bar standard. It would be a 5 for bars. But as a all overall record, like we would have to work on that.
Mm.
One of us would have to
Okay.
sing on that bitch, or you know what I'm saying? We would have to come up with a fire like gangster hook on some 50 Cent shit.
Mm. Um, to cap off the female side, Missy Elliott.
Oh damn, Missy, you know, is like a 10 because Missy Missy is just like out of this world. So anything she makes is like crossover. I feel like
Mm.
it's just automatic, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like all of these people, it would be a 5 on standards of just dopeness, but like at reach, as far as the reach, I feel like Missy would just definitely be a 5.
All right. So now we're gonna head over to the fellas. All right. Anybody from Griselda. At that point, that's your personal choice. If you want all or one.
First of all, they will all rap all over me. So
Nah, but you
I
know,
don't know if
I know
you
you'll hold your weight.
nah, I would hold my own, of course. It would be too fire. I don't even know how to grade that. Crazy. Um, yeah, I mean, it would be a 5 on some bar shit. Like, yeah, on some. Yeah, it'd be fire. You're gonna just
Word.
keep naming fire artists, and it's not even gonna be anything less than a 5.
Okay, let's try this one. Logic.
I like Logic. I like Logic also outside of just being an artist, but I like the way he thinks. So I think that'd be a fun record actually. I think we would come up with some different kind of shit, something out the box.
All right. Joyner Lucas.
I like Jordan Lucas too. He be spitting mad fast for me. Um we have to work it out.
All
We
right.
have to work it out, but I think it would be fire too. I think it'd be a 4 or 5ish. I think it'd be up there.
Okay. Uh,
You gotta let me live. You gotta let me live on it though. Let me live, Joyner.
um, Chris Rivers.
Me and Chris Rivers should have been to the record a long time ago. It should would definitely be fire. Crazy, both of us from the Bronx, Boricuas. That would be a 5-5.
Word. Damn, I actually skipped over female, not on purpose. Before I give you the last guy name, female, Nitty Scott.
Nitty Scott is dope. I actually never met her, which is strange. But I've come across plenty of people that know her like really well. So that would be dope. It'd be
I
dope if
think
we could do something.
I
Yeah.
definitely like to hear that because I think Nitty Scott is such an underrated and overlooked MC. Is whack. That that's what it is.
There's a lot.
Um,
There's a lot of overlooked artists, male, female, lot. There's a lot. A lot of dope
um,
talent out there.
to top off the fellas, pause. Whoa, yo, Katie,
Yeah.
easy. Katie's gonna kill me for that.
Relax.
Yo, that was mad wrong. I don't even want to. I had a word to substitute that, but that shit was gonna sound worse. All right, All right. The
I don't even know what that sound effect was, but it was funny.
for the fellas, 50 Cent.
Oh no, you crazy? That's like the gangsta era. Like that would be fire. He bring the Queens flavor, I bring the BX flavor, and we be on some gangster shit. Back on our gangster shit.
Mala, before we end this, would there ever be a Scholar Vision Music? Well, would there ever be a podcast?
It's funny, a lot of people have asked us to host or to, have our own podcast. And we've always kind of shied away from it only because the time it takes. You got to be dedicated and you got to be, that's a set schedule. And because we was always like traveling and what I'm saying, like doing stuff, we didn't feel like we would give it 100%. You know what I'm saying? So we never wanted to enter that until we felt we were ready. But we have talked about it a lot. We have talked about it a lot actually, and other stuff too. Like even like TV network kind of stuff, things like that. So I think it's definitely in the future. I couldn't tell you when it would happen, but we have talked about it a lot and there's a lot of interest there. So maybe one day we might want to do something like that.
Word, that would be dope.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean that would be a great time, right? Since nobody can travel. Now there's no excuse.
um,
You should definitely look into it.
Mala Reignz, from hearing BX Till I Die on Music Choice to getting into your music, Mega Reigns, Miss Rap Supreme, seeing your video on MTV, you getting the unsigned hype. As a fan, I want to tell you this was an honor for me to talk to you, to pick your brain about music and you as an artist and things that you've gone through and things that you're still on the rise to achieve. Mala, I want to say thank you so much for getting on Quarantine and Rap and talking with me. I did this. Quarantine and Rap was something that I was constantly told you need to work on your engagement. And it's not that I didn't want to engage with people, it's that I had a very dislike feeling for social media. And I've always been one person that I've always wanted more for independent artists, being an artist myself. And I use this comparison, and Katie's probably gonna hate me, but I look at quarantine and rap as a tree, right? And I've always said that a tree has its branches, and I wanted how Hot 97 was is home to a lot of artists, and especially people who grew up listening to Hot 97 and hip hop. I look at quarantine and rap as a home. I want quarantine and rap to be a home for artists where they could come walk up to this tree and know that when they leave, they can leave knowing that they looked at the branches and and see that, oh, I went to quarantine and rap and he pointed me in this direction where I could get an interview over here or I could probably go perform over there. And so this quarantine and rap for me, it's not really about me, and that's not what I want people to see or know or think. So being able to pick your brain about your look on the music and what independent artists should be doing, I'm telling you right now, it was an honor to speak to you, and I thank you so much. Mala, the floor is yours. Anything you want to promote, have at it.
Well, thank you for having me, of course. And I've, definitely seen you put the work in. I saw you in the early stages. You've been hitting us up, you know what I'm saying? So definitely see the growth, and I'm super proud of you that you have this platform now. And like I told you the other day in the post that I made, in the comment that I told you, just continue to push your brand. Like I talked about in the interview this whole time, I focused a lot on the business and the marketing behind it. And that's really where you're getting from a label. You're getting the plugs. Obviously, you're going to get the plugs. But what they really do for you is they market you. And as soon as artists, up and coming artists, whether you're beginner or you already established, when you realize that, then you figure out these marketing schemes and campaigns and plans. You definitely will see a difference. You will see a return on your investment. So just to emphasize that, continue everybody to figure out your brand. You know what I'm saying? Uh, uh, get it right, and then this way you can be proud of it and proud to promote it. And then you figure out your marketing plan and your plan of action. And don't do anything without a plan. It's just going to be a waste of time. So just make sure you plan and get a return on your investment, because all of us, we invest a lot into this. Independent game is not easy. Yeah, and take it serious. It's a real business. So definitely, anybody that needs help, Scholar VMG, we offer services. We do consulting. We will help you from point A to point Z. If you need marketing, if you need coaching in the studio, if you need beats, if you need visuals, we do it all. So visit scholarvmg.com. You can follow us on social media at ScholarVMG. Follow me at Mala Reignz and at J30 Music. And yeah, what I'm saying, whatever we can help you with, we will point you in the right direction. But we do everything in house, and we've gotten to where we are now just off our own hard work and merit and know how. So we have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to share.
With that being said, Mala Reigns, BX till I die. Thank you so
Always.
much for coming on. As I
Thank you.
continue quarantine the rap, I am working on getting more guests where I can pick their brain for the independent artists. So, with that being said, Mala, I'm gonna need when I do the sign off, don't click your phone. Katie's gonna take care of everything. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into Quarantine and Rap. I'll be back next time. And on that note, y'all already know how I end this shit.